Anime fights have always been insane, but this new generation, it takes the fights to a whole new level. They create the kind of hype that leaves fans with their jaws on the floor. And just to be clear, when I say new gen, I'm only talking about anime that aired from 2015 onwards. So let's talk about the best new gen fights in anime. Starting off this list with Dogame from Windbreaker. Sure, he has the moves, but Sakura isn't coming slow either. Now, this is the kind of fight that I'd call a real fight because it's a man-to-man brawl. There were no weapons or special powers, just the power of fists and sheer will. This reminds me of what I love about certain fights. I don't mind surprises, such as a new form/power or new equipment to change how the flow goes, but nothing beats solid choreography where both sides just wail on each other with no pauses. And the joy of fighting like this coming off their faces makes me want to smile uncontrollably too. This was the absolute rawest exchange of blows I'd seen in a long time. Mushoku Tensei has many fluid and fast-paced battles, but this one just hits the spot. It was a desperate struggle, an all-or-nothing battle to save Zenith. And let's be real, this was the ultimate raid boss. This fight showed Paul's true potential, not as a father, not as some washed-up adventurer, but as a straight-up warrior. It's probably the only time we get to see him this badass. And Rudy had no idea how powerful he'd become, but the real star of the show was Roxy. She saw a chance, she took it. Otherwise, everyone in the party would have been done for. This is one of the most intense fights in Mushoku Tensei. It's so raw, chaotic, and terrifying because there was no guarantee they were all going to make it out alive. Let's talk about Saitama versus Boros. You see, Boros was a big fish in a big pond that made the unfortunate mistake of travelling to a small pond with an alligator. Saitama lets him cook. At first, Boros actually sees him like he might be a problem. He sends Saitama flying, blitzes around the battlefield, and even kicks him to the moon. The moon, that is. That's some serious damage for anyone who isn't Saitama. Dude just casually jumps back like it's a minor inconvenience. Boros is giving it everything he's got. He unleashes collapsing star roaring cannon, an attack that could wipe out the entire planet. This is the kind of move you save for the final boss. This is his ultimate trump card, but Saitama finishes it with a single iconic punch. That's it. The animation of this fight scene is the real star of the show because it's such a treat to the eyes. One Punch Man never fails with its fight sequences and how gorgeous they look. Next up we have Toru versus Elma. aka the most beautifully animated fight in the entire series. I didn't know this show could feature something like this. It was truly mind-blowing. Now, Elma didn't like the fact that Toru had been serving a human on Earth. According to her, Toru has better things to do. Toru just wants to live an easy life. She just wants to chill, you know? At first, they try to settle their differences like normal people. And by normal, I mean throwing hands in the middle of the sky, causing shockwaves that could probably level a small country. And the animation, absolute perfection. Kyoto Animation went insanely hard for no reason. The action and fighting, the build-up of emotion, the voice acting, the climax of why Elma wanted to fight, everything was just perfect. I'll never forget how I felt watching it for the first time.
ドラゴンの戦いは何度か見たことがあるけど、私もだいぶ慣れてきたのだろうか。
しっかりついてこいよ、マスター。よし、闇団長。
Yami and Asta vs Dante was the anime fight equivalent of a father-son Kamehameha. This fight was Black Clover peak fiction. We got Yami, the ultimate cool as hell mentor, and Asta, the battle-crazed underdog, teaming up to take on Dante, a smug demon-powered psycho who literally heals through getting his ass kicked. From the start, you already know that this was going to be different. Dante was flexing on everyone, regenerating from fatal attacks like it was nothing. Yami was holding it down, hitting him with the dimension slashes and death thrusts, but Dante just kept coming back. Then Yami says the magic words, "Asta, help me out." At that moment, Asta snaps. He taps into his devil power, syncs up with Yami, and suddenly Dante, this overpowered smug villain, was getting cooked. The animation, insane. The music, pure fire. And when Yami tosses his katana to Asta, you already know it's game over.
てめえが終わりで
This fight in Eminence in Shadow was less of a fight and more of a lesson. Iris and Beatrix might seem like an unbeatable duo, but when it comes to Shadow, this duo means nothing. Our dude didn't care how hard these girls tried to overpower him. Bro started giving TED Talk mid-fight. I absolutely loved how Beatrix kept growing angrier and angrier at Shadow because, well, she wasn't able to touch him no matter how hard she tried. Shadow overpowers both sisters effortlessly, styling on them like he's farming XP. Iris gets desperate, charges up her biggest attack yet, puts all of her anger into it, and Shadow? He just nukes it with an explosion bigger than her entire career. This man radiates aura just how the sun radiates the ultraviolet rays. Trevor's fight against death has to be one of the best in the series. I like how Death fights exactly like you'd expect from a retro final boss. He doesn't move around, he doesn't dodge Trevor's blow, he just towers in the background and launches big, flashy, mostly telegraphed moves with his hands and his scythe. You could easily see this scene in a video game. But Trevor, bro just charges straight at Death like an absolute menace and obliterates him in one of the most satisfying finishing moves ever. Moral of the story, if your last name's Belmont, you don't fear Death. Death fears you. Want to see a friendly game of tag between two brothers? Wait, never mind. It's a full-on brawl where time and physics don't even matter anymore. What started as Shinra trying to literally fight his little brother back into remembering their bond quickly turned into Sho reminding everyone why he's built differently. Shinra had to level up mid-fight just to keep up. My guy went from normal speed to breaking the laws of physics in the span of seconds. You know a fight's insane when the characters start rewriting the concept of time just to win. The animation in this fight scene was truly god tier, and the fluidity of the scene was off the charts. So what's the lesson? If your big bro's so determined to save you that he starts outpacing time itself, just go home, man.
こんなところ抜け出して明るいところに行こう。俺が連れてってやる。
この人が兄。
Imagine walking into a fight where you're outnumbered 10 to 1 and instead of feeling scared, you're the one smiling.
リベンジカウンター
That's exactly what Meliodas did when he squared up against the entire 10 commandments. Considering Meliodas wasn't even in his prime and still tanked 100% full-powered abilities from the commandments is so impressive, he almost wins. Alone. Right when it looks like Meliodas might actually pull it off, the 10 commandments switch things up. They dogpile him, stab him from every angle, and hit him with the most brutal group finisher in the series. And just like that, the invincible demon prince is dead. I can only imagine how fast this fight would have changed if Meliodas had gone into assault mode.
アバよ、兄弟。俺の愛するメリオダス。やめろ霊体変異あらここしかねえ違うやれんのか心配なさそうだなうわ他にもいるぞ
Mob vs. Mogami was a psychological horror movie disguised as an anime battle.
今さら何をしても私には勝てんぞ
Imagine pulling up to a fight thinking it's just another exorcism, and the next thing you know, you're trapped in a hellish alternate reality for 6 months. That's what happened to Mob. But you gotta feel bad for Mogami, who spent decades gaining enough power to get his revenge, dies before doing so, and comes back only to be defeated by a kid with a single attack in his own pocket dimension, where he's basically a god. That's some Boros level luck. But what's crazy is how insanely powerful Mogami is. Even after he was defeated and sealed away, he was such an incredible force that Mob was still wary of fighting him. And the animation? I'm pretty sure they spent the entire budget on this specific fight scene because, oh my god, how glorious it was. Enjoying these new gen fights? Then you gotta give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to turn on the notification bell icon to be updated every time I upload a new video. Shangri-La Frontier is the kind of anime we didn't know we needed but are glad we got. The fight scenes in this new anime feature are out of this world, and one of its best fight scenes involves Sunraku and Weathermom. Now, whoever created this anime must be a huge MMORPG fan. I mean, as a gamer, I can fully understand Sunraku's fighting style. It's such a breath of fresh air, isn't it? From the moment the fight starts, you can tell Sunraku is in trouble. Weathermon is an unpredictable entity. He can attack from anywhere. His attacks have no logic. You just can't figure them out. It's like fighting a Dark Souls boss that keeps updating its moveset mid-fight. The fight itself was brutal and fast. Sunraku is unable to figure out the patterns at first, but when he does, we fall in love with him. Every hit he lands feels like a small victory, and by the time he finally takes Weathermon down, you're just as exhausted as he is.
お前は強かったけどな死ぬほど見てるんだぜ俺にはもうその刃は届かねえよ
Okarun vs. Acrobatic Silky was less of a fight and more of a high-speed paranormal circus act. The moment Acrobat Silky pulls up, you know Okarun is in for a bad time. Silky looks like she came straight out of a nightmare. The way she attacks is unique though. She doesn't walk, she runs. 1 second she's across the room, and the next she's inches from your face, looking like she's about to ruin your entire existence. But here's the thing, Okarun isn't backing down. He's got that turbo mode and the dude starts trading speed for speed. At one point, they're practically teleporting around the battlefield, flipping, dodging, and throwing hands at a speed that should not be possible. It's like watching Dragon Ball Z, but with ghosts and a guy fighting for his life. And the animation was absolutely unhinged. But Acrobat Silky had one of the saddest backstories in the history of anime. My wife just did not stop crying.
お母さん愛してる
I didn't expect any kind of swordplay in Kaiju number 8, but here we go. Vice Captain Hoshina doesn't look like he's too powerful, but trust me, he absolutely is. I'm a big fan of Hoshina's swordplay. I was seriously not expecting him to pick up a sword and use it so masterfully, and Garfgar was definitely struggling. He was trying not to fight with Hoshina and kept running away. Hoshina's speed was insane, but the moment Garfgar caught his blade in his body and started charging up, you could just hear that little shriveled, scared voice in Hoshina's head going, "Oh, I messed up." Easily one of the funniest. I may have underestimated this moment ever. And let's talk about the animation. Every frame is crispy. The speed, the choreography, the sheer impact behind every hit. Mwah, you can feel every clash.
うわ逃がした。
じゃあ切り殺してやるよ。
やってみろよ、Let's move on to Denji, aka Chainsaw Man versus Katana Man. Katana Man? This dude is batshit crazy. The fight between them was absolutely chaotic. None of them were holding back. Katana Man thought he had it in the bag. Dude had speed, technique, and a clean transformation. But Denji fights like a rabid dog that just got off its leash. No strategy, no form, just pure, reckless carnage. And what's crazy is that he's having fun while doing it. Denji's final move was oh so satisfying. That was a massive disrespect. This honestly proves no matter how bad a situation may be, you still have a chance of winning. Re:Zero Season 3 gave us some of the best fight scenes ever. The fight between Garfield and Kurogan can easily be one of the best animated fights of 2025. I love the fact that Kurogan was built so differently that he kept some of his personality even after being reborn as a puppet. The acknowledgement he gave Garfield was so cool and so satisfying for his character after what Elsa made him go through. Also, the details in this fight scene are just crazy. Don't even get me started on the animation. I forgot for a moment that I was actually watching Re:Zero. It felt like some other shonen anime with an extremely high budget for its animation.
見事。
Let's talk about our little heroes fighting against Dark Might. Now, Dark Might was absolutely terrifying. Imagine All Might, but bad. Yeah, that's what Dark Might is. You know you're a menace to society when Midoriya starts mixing and matching quirks. The trio felt like they were fighting an actual monster. This dude was so unhinged that he erased everything that came in front of him, and yet the trio didn't back down. This was the fight where their teamwork truly shone. The three of them absolutely pushed themselves to get rid of Dark Might. And let's be real, seeing Bakugo and Deku actually working together instead of screaming at each other? Now that's character development right there, baby. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, was such a breath of fresh air. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting any kind of fight scenes in this anime, but the ones it featured hit the spot right. Take Frieren's fight with her clone, for example. It literally broke the internet when it came out. I love the little detail of Frieren and her clone mirroring each other's barriers at the beginning. It just shows how they both knew what the other was going to do. Madhouse absolutely cooked with the visual and sound effects in this fight. It truly felt like two gods clashing. Also, Frieren wasn't lying when she said basic magic spells were enough to defeat the mages of the current era. Every single spell in her arsenal is just too powerful for everyone.
好きだらけです。
見えてるな俺の術が。
Sukuna vs Mahoraga was less of a fight and more of a flex on Sukuna's part. The way he absolutely annihilated Mahoraga lives rent-free in my head. Honestly, this is legitimately one of the greatest fights in general. Like, not just anime, but in general. The sinister divinity in music, voice acting, fluidity, the complete and utter chaos. You feel the stakes, you see the danger, you can hear the destruction. This is showing, not telling at its absolute finest and deserves a reward. It's pure cinematography. Also, the animation just slaps. It's so fast and fluid you won't be able to see what's going on properly. Sure, it felt rushed, but it still deserves all the praise in the world.
Fuga.
This list is incomplete without an entry from Demon Slayer, and it has to be Rengoku vs Akaza. Akaza comes in swinging, all cocky like, "Hey man, you're pretty strong. Wanna be a demon?" And Rengoku, being the absolute goat, just says, "Nah, I'm good." Then proceeds to fight this dude like his life depends on it because, well, it literally does. Rengoku was out here soloing an upper moon, breaking his limits, slashing through the air so hard it looked like fire itself. Akaza kept regenerating like an overpowered video game boss, but Rengoku didn't stop. Man fought till the literal last second, holding Akaza down with nothing but sheer willpower. But the outcome of this battle was really sad. R.I.P. Rengoku, you'll always live in our hearts. Gabimaru vs Tencent was straight up survival horror with hands.
再生するならそれを上回るスピードで破壊する。
嘘、人間に。
You ever played a game where the enemy just refuses to die no matter how hard you hit them? That's exactly what Gabimaru was dealing with here. It's honestly so refreshing to have a normal hand-to-hand fight with normal animation instead of so much internal monologue and flashy animation. Dude did what Adam did against Zeus, literally fighting unconsciously, except he was thinking of his wife. A loving wife is the strongest drive of power in this anime. Gabimaru just said screw it and focused only on the fight, putting his all into overpowering the guy. Gabimaru also unlocked a secret power inside of him while fighting that demigod. Also, the music really adds to the fight. When the OST hits just right during a fight, it elevates everything. Imagine being the strongest warrior of your entire race, only to get folded like a lawn chair in front of your own people. That's exactly what happened when the Ant King ran into the one guy you don't want to mess with, Sung Jin Woo. It's crazy how most of the fight is from the Ant King's perspective. We can mostly hear his thoughts freaking out as if Jin Woo is the monster. A1 deserves all the love and respect coming their way. Well, we all know that they've adapted multiple chapters into a single episode. Regardless, I knew it would be beautifully animated, but this far exceeded my expectations, you know. I'm pretty sure after filming this epic battle, the cameraman was promoted to S rank. That's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up before you go. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon for the latest updates on all of our videos. Feel free to drop a comment under the video with your favorite new Gen fight scenes from today's list, or let us know if there's any you think we should add. Click here to watch this video. See you next time.